everyone, welcome back again to my YouTube channel, Natural Living by Enovi, where my focus is always on a healthy lifestyle and discussions on how to maintain a positive mindset. Remember to like, subscribe, share and comment. Subscription is free, so all you need to do is press that red arrow at the bottom of the video.
Morning guys. I want to talk about something this morning which I've come to realize, because it wasn't my experience. I thought about it, but it has been like, know that I've been exposed to it over the past 2 years, year and a half. I've been exposed to two persons, right? And like their behavior is a bit like aggressive and stuff like that, but they have been very open about how they were brought up. So apparently now they were beaten viciously growing up by their parents. And the surprising thing is to the father. Can you imagine a man beating a small child with all his might? How terrible that could be. Fathers, yes, mothers will beat children growing up. Some mothers will beat their children, and but when a father is beating a daughter mercilessly, I just can't imagine what effect that should have on a child. A father is supposed to be the protector of his daughter, right? So let me tell you what I think has happened. These parents, first let me talk about this part first. You see, if you're a parent and you have this anger and aggression because of whatever happened to you when you were growing up, don't take it out on your child, okay? Because you're damaging the children, and you're making them growing up to damage adults who cause a lot of toxicity in the work environment. So you need to apologize to your children. A lot of parents just act as if, I guess it could be communication issues and stuff, but they don't know how to, or it could be stubbornness to tell a child that they're sorry. But even one person I was talking to, and I said, do you sit and talk with that particular parent about what is happening or how you feel? They said, no, she don't want to talk about it. I said, no, but you have to. She said sometimes the parent actually come beside them and sit down and touch them like they want to talk, but she just get up and stop. So you too, as a child, people will grow up and look into themselves, and don't think it's because they're old, they're wiser, right? And they will look into themselves. They're not so burdened by the daily grind of work, of providing for their families, so they will have time to think about and reflect on their actions. They might even see, they're exposed now to TV and see how people treat their children loving, because even on YouTube they have a lot of young families who are treating their children really, really loving and have those parenting skills where the belt is not the go-to, right? That they show you how to discipline your child without beating them and all of that. So me personally, I never got beaten from any of my parents. My father, his voice was like thunder. Two talking talk to you, you're shaking in your boots and you go sit down and bawl. So my mother never beat me either. She always wanted that girl for my father. She had 5 brothers before me, so we were like best friends. We talk a lot and all of that about everything. I could come to her and talk about anything that was bothering me. So I just want to say, if you have to get professional help, get professional help. I said to one person, what you can do, because I'm not an expert, something that just came to me. Take your parent, your mother, because the father is no longer here. Take them, go to like Hope Garden, somewhere nice and calm and beautiful, or even Devon House. Spread a blanket, or you can use a shower plastic curtain and you put your sheet or your blanket over that so you don't get the grass on it. Pack a little lunch. If you have Devon House, you go buy 2 ice cream. And the good thing is that if you're in public, the parent will not act up and behave a certain way. They will more likely sit calmly and don't walk off or so. And you too will behave yourself and don't behave, you know, in a way aggressive, because you have a lot of aggression. You might have a lot of aggression towards your parent. You know, I sit and talk about things. It might not be a one go, you know, because this other person said they had gone to church to do some counseling. And I said, did that come up about some of the things? And she said, no. And I said, how can you be counseling people and the childhood abuse don't come up in it? That's a big thing in how parents not communicating with children not communicating with parents, and a lot of anger, you know. So we really need to deal with that in our society. Boy, I hope the government can deal with that, because it's not all, even the Ministry of Health. The mental health is very important, because you see, when that, sometimes you see people in the office, you know, and they're so aggressive, they're feisty. Let me check the lighting. Too much sun. They're very feisty, and if you go in there pleasant, and so they think everything is fine. It's not that you don't have problems, but it's not your thing to. I always tell my staff, you know, all of us have problems, but when you come to work, you're being paid to work, and it is your job to ensure you have the best communication possible. They have the best communication possible from your between you and your co-workers to get the work done, because you're being paid to get work. When you come in and you act aggressive toward your co-worker, that co-worker will shut down and will not give you the information you need, right? So you have to get into your communication skills, whether you want to or not, and you have to put it down. Say if you have a problem, you can talk to your boss. If it's a boss, somebody you can talk to, or another co-worker or HR, talk to them and let them help you to get some help, right? It doesn't mean that if you and your husband had an argument in the morning, or your children stress you out, the first thing you come in the office, you have this angry disposition, nobody can talk to you, you don't even say a proper good morning, you act like everybody is your enemy. You don't do that, right? Don't do that. It is gonna mess up your communication within the office with other people and your work life, because try as much as possible. That's why I was so upset that everybody who has been watching me from before know what I went through recently at work. So that's why I was so upset about that, because my work space is a place where it's supposed to be calm, you know, and I like to give out as much as possible. So you know, when you come into the office, try to, as much as possible, make an effort. If even it's hard and it's not your nature, just be nice. And you can't hold in everything, you know, because as I say, if you're holding all your stress, it will mad you. But what you can do is hold it down a little. Just hold it like a G, as we say in Jamaica, for a little bit. In the first few minutes, you come in and you settle down on your desk and so. And if you have somebody, we don't really encourage anybody if you talk to anybody at work about them problem, you know, because that is not a good thing. They will chat you and stuff. If you have a church, or you have family or friends or so, or if you want to come on social media, build up your local social media gathering where you can come and talk about stuff and have your lives, and people will, you know, you can interact with your little community on social media, because that is a good way to get out things too and talk about it, which it really helped me the other day in my situation. But it's not everything. You don't have to save all of them, but just for the moment you can save it, but don't keep it there on your platform. But for the moment you talk about it and stuff. So find a way, but also try to break that generational, what do you call it, break that link that has always been over generations and generations of abuse. Remember, you know, slavery was not that far away from us, you know. It's not that long ago slavery was abolished, right? And it's not that long ago you have people coming as indentured servants and coming as Chinese and Indian into a community which are not accepted as such, and you have to deal with a lot of feeling like an outsider, right? Even the Europeans or white people, you get a lot of aggression too, because it might not have been your direct family line, you know, who were the slave masters, because a lot of what we call white people who came to Jamaica after slavery was abolished, but everybody labeled them as slave masters.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, if you notice, every nation, it's not only one nation, every nation gets some hard life in some way. For example, like the white people are, I don't have a special, I just have to call, that's what everybody call them. The white people you will find in Jamaica, they will act aggressive in a way, they will try to talk the most Jamaican as they can, they will cuss the most bad words and go on, just to, I think they want to think it, they look more Jamaican that way, and they want to be accepted, especially like the young, the children, them, while the older ones maybe just do them thing at work, but the younger ones who not so, the money don't make already, so they're not so focused on making the money, already they now have generational wealth, so they are now trying to, just live the life, but it's still hard for them to be accepted in the society. So you will find now that these younger generation, nowadays young people, they're not gonna take the aggression, the toxicity in the workplace that the generation before has taken. So while the older people who are now in their 50s or so, they would have sat through it over the years and just stay in the one job and just stay in the place and just to survive, because they will maybe fear of trying, they might not be able to find another job, or maybe they're not as qualified. They will sit and take all the aggression in the workplace and the bad mind and all of that going on, and then they end up living on medication now because they have high blood pressure and all sorts of stress. Some of them have mental issues just because of how they have been treated in the workplace by their own Jamaican people, right? So as I was saying before, it's not that long ago slavery abolished, so that generational thing where they have ingrained it in the black people to be holding on your head when you talk, and you do it to the children too when you're talking to Baka Master. You don't look up in their face because I open your eyes and look at them because they say you're being rude, and they took it to their children, and so when they're talking to their children, they say you face it because you're looking up in their eyes when they're talking to them. So I have friends now in my age group who, when their parents or the children, grandparents come over and don't want the children to be involved in certain conversations, they say no, let the child talk, and they're not going to stay in another room or whatever. They need to be a part of this and partake in conversation. So those children grow up more confident. And you see, a lot of my generation in the workplace, they come to the meetings and they hold on their head the whole time. They don't express their opinions. And I know a lot of good ideas have not been heard because they are afraid to speak up just to voice their opinion. They just go with the flow. And that's not really the right way to be. Alright, so let me ask you now, how many Indian people do you see in the workplace in the Jamaican corporate world? Not many, because a lot of people in my family, they do their own thing. You see a lot of Indian people out there, they have the truck business or whatever it is, because they are too outspoken. They have not been subjected to that hold on your head and talk to me sort of thing. They are very outspoken. So my generation, my father's people, they just do the little we call it indentured service time at Surgeon and Estate. Take them piece of hilly land, because they used to give them no nice land, because hilly or swamp ridden, swamp when rainfall land, flood out sort of land, and give them. And you find but they take it and they do local farming and do their thing, and what they do is try, not their generation, my father's generation, or try to send their children to school. But you find the ones who will do better in the workplace are the quieter ones. So I grew up a little quiet, so but I still am outspoken when I need to be outspoken, but we sort of well trained in terms of discipline and to be well mannered and so in the workplace. Yes, so as I continue to say now, you can't take that aggressive behavior from generation to generation and take out whatever is hurting on other people. You are big people, you have to have some amount of self-control. Yes, you can be pushed and reach that limit. All of us have our limits, right? and we don't want to be pushed to reach that limit.
Hi everyone. I'm not sure if I did stress this enough in the previous video that it's just not one section of Jamaica that will have some form of generational trauma. You will have every section, rich, poor, and indifferent, every nation, mixed and otherwise, white, black, Chinese, Indian, and all the in-betweens, right? Because everybody, as I was saying, everybody has some form of family expectation, right? You have some family, a lot of pressure is on the children to take the family out of poverty, right? They may have made certain sacrifices for the children, and as soon as the children start to work, there's no breathing space. They have to just start provide and take care of parents, brothers, sisters, everybody, and even beyond brothers and sisters and stuff, and nieces and nephews and cousins and all of that. So everybody under some form of pressure. Nowadays too, you find in the old, what is happening to, you see, in the older days there were a lot of job positions, right? So businesses were growing and all of that. Businesses are growing now, but in a different way. So you would find right now the top positions in all companies with the over 50s, those people are not going to leave their jobs. So you're not going to see a lot of spaces in top position being made open for people who are capable, younger people who are capable, because it don't make sense leave certain positions at that age, right? So that's why you have now you have a lot of call center jobs and all of that. In my day, well, you would have people moving up much quicker into top management positions. So by the time they reach 30-35, they're in top management positions. But those positions, people are being healthier now, because a 65-year-old now and a 65-year-old back in the day, if it's somebody going to the gym and stuff, a lot of the top executives I find work out and look really good for the age. So I eat healthy, and so the young people not getting the sort of salary, I think, in my opinion, that in my generation when we were in our 30s were getting, right? Also too, people who are wealthy, right, don't think because they are wealthy they don't have problems. There's a lot of pressure on turn on the AC. There's a lot of pressure on, like, say, children to take over family businesses, and the children might not even want to take over family business. They might want to do their own thing, so they have a lot of pressure. And if they decide to go against that, there is a lot of trauma there, there's a lot of especially I find in like wealthy families, there's a lot of pressure on who those children are supposed to get married to. Sometimes they want them to get married to people whose family are in similar businesses, and they see it as merging, when a marriage happens. Yes, it does still happen. Even in Jamaica it happens, right? So if the children decide to marry outside of that expectation, some of these wealthy families will cut off the children. So there's a lot of pressure on them. Everybody said they are Jamaican and they love Jamaica, but there's a lot of pressure on the color of your skin. Don't be fooled and say class racism not exists in Jamaica. It exists at all levels, because even in poor set of people, a lot of black people don't want the children, the boys especially, to marry to Indian or mixed race, because, and some of the men feel guilty in getting married because they want somebody who maybe more looks like their mother. They feel like they're betraying. It is a thing, They feel like they're betraying the mother when they if they don't marry somebody that looks like their mother in all nations, you know. And in terms of behavior and stuff like that too. It's a lot of trauma happening, a lot of things happening why there's so much negativity around, not only in the workplace but just all around in general. People, the poor people under a lot of pressure too. They can't make ends meet. They want to send their children to better schools and all of that. They might live in a yard with a lot of different houses and a lot of family drama going on, you know, between different family members, different households, what you call like big yard or tenement yard. So that is another set of trauma, and they have to come into office and deal with people. Some of them not have proper water supply and have to go through all sorts of something to get the water to bathe and come work, you know. And that can cause a lot of trauma when they come into the office. People who don't drive, they might want to go pick up the children. It's little young mothers sometimes take a little 1 hour lunchtime having to go and pick up their children from kindergarten and stuff. Some of them barely making it in terms of bus fare. So it's a lot of pressure. So with all that, I keep saying, be kind, be kind. And I find some of the men in the workplaces, both high level and low level, they are overly aggressive. And in terms of when they say women, they come on too strong, whether the woman looking them or not, interested or not. They're just coming on strong, you know. I mean, some of them, but Jamaican men really overconfident, that's all I can say. And they're trying to get a relationship where they can have a better life. And they don't really love the woman enough for them. They just look a better life, you know. And even I have seen wealthy Jamaican men, I mean in good job, they marry to foreigners because they want a visa because the children might be in college, university abroad. And you know, if you don't have there's no guarantee that those children will get a job in even say the United States unless they have citizenship or get a special visa. So they want an easier life for their children, and you know, them still have the thing where they want their children to work a foreign. So they will get married to foreigners just because, and they're wealthy, right? Just because of their children, they want it, and they themselves maybe want the what you call it, permanent residency and the citizenship abroad. So they do it for that. So it's a lot of things in the society, and there's no one solution. But the basic thing is to say the golden rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And if people should live by that, you know, there will be so much less problems. Though Jesus said, give to the poor, right? Help the elderly. You see, so much people have so much money, them can't, that money can't done. And not even for generations that money got done. And they don't do charity. I'm so proud of the ones that have really big good charities going on, you know. And try to give back a little something, no matter how small. Give back a little something to help somebody, you know, because you'll be surprised how many children going to school without lunch and them something, without bus fare, you know. I remember the days when my father fell on hard times because you know, he never used to really let a lot of people know which party he was from, and because some people found out now because of other developments, he couldn't get no work, and he was one of the best contractors around. And we never have lunch money. We have to walk to school. Luckily we have breadfruit tree and in plant callaloo, and may I tell you, we eat breadfruit and callaloo for breakfast, lunch and dinner. For years we had to struggle because he couldn't get no work. It was a rough time. So don't look at people and yes, so all of us have our limits, and we can be pushed beyond our limits, but you have to exercise some amount of self-control. You can't just every little thing somebody said to you, you just hit him back. And then you just shut up your mouth and just go and do your work and know it.
and with time you work out your thing and what is best for you. So you can't be just going around being rude to everybody and doing that sort of thing. You have to have some amount of self-control, right? So even like in my profession in audit now, in the private sector, they're much calmer, more polite, because you see, if you go in there and you go on with your aggressiveness, the people won't give you what you want, the documents you want, they will take their time, give you. But if you are nice and polite and have respect for their time, so like what I do is give them some notice, like I'm coming in 3 weeks time, unless it's a special investigation. I say I'm coming in 3 weeks or a month. We start the planning, we send out our planning information, and we say, so that you can go and take the time, produce the documents we want. Yes, some of the documents are things that they are supposed to do, like, but sometimes everything don't get done like within the 5 days or 6 days. So if you give them the time, they will make the effort, maybe do some overtime, come in on the weekends and work on some of the documents. But if you just go in there same time and say you want this, you want that, you have to remember they have their own timelines within their work to do that, to deal with customers and all of that. So you have to be considerate. So the world don't revolve around you or anybody else. It's about respecting other people, respecting their time, and respecting who they are. So try to get the help you need. Do not, and try to read some books. There are some good books out there, self-help books, right? Because you are not gonna, and one of the best books too is the Bible. And one of the things is Proverbs tell you a lot about how you should operate in the world, right? So if you have love for people in you too, as Jesus said, you have to love your neighbor as yourself, right? He said, love each other. Love is the thing that you need to do. Help the poor. So if you love people, you're not going to treat them bad all the time, right? Some people are hard to love, yes, and you have to say, God, help me to do as you say, to love others. Forgiveness is hard too, but if forgiveness is really for helping you, not for helping others as such. But when you forgive and release that anger, it heals you too, right? So just try to find some ways to forget the hurts, to get some healing. But sometimes you might need to still have your space. So if you be around if you're around the person all the time, they might have some things that have some behaviors that trigger you. So you can just meet up sometime, talk about what you think the problem is between, that happening growing up also, and see how best you can work on that. All right, so, and remember to touch that red arrow at the bottom of the video so that you can subscribe to my channel. I also do cooking videos. I like to talk about positive motivational things, some maybe some hard truths, but at the end of the day, it's all making us better people, right? And I would just like to say thank you for watching. Thank you if you have subscribed to my channel. I just want to appreciate you, and you can click on the bell too so that you can actually be notified when my other videos come up as soon as I post. Most times I post on Sundays, and I'm trying to post during the week too. Sometimes I post on Friday or Saturday too, but I'm trying to work on it to get more consistent, because I have a full-time job. So let's say now we talk about a lot of things that cause us emotional trauma. Generational trauma is really the topic, but we're talking about breaking generational cycles now, right? Bad habits, things which it wasn't our fault, it's just things that happened from generation to generation, and we grew up in it, and we're trying to be the chain breaker, to be the ones that will not continue. For example, if you're for child abuse or so, beating children and stuff like that, it can end with you. For example, poverty, it can end with you. Let's talk about how are we gonna heal, right? One of the first things you have to know and understand, it is not your fault. Okay, say it with me. It is not my fault. It is not even your parents' fault sometimes, because it's what they learned from their parents. For example, slavery, for example, people were taken from their countries, they changed their names,
they made them forget about where they're coming from. They abused them and all of that. They took the men away from their wives and the children away from their parents. So, and then they would use the men, some of the men, they would use them as just like to produce offspring, and they would let them have different women and all of that. So a lot of these things you see in the society now, where men are just going around 10 different women and having children, and so it is something. So it's going to take a while for these things to come out of the system. So a lot of it is not really men, they have to relearn. Like this, I said, these young men coming up now really learning how to be great fathers, you know. Another thing now, you have to face the truth. You cannot be in denial. If you're in denial, you will never get to solve the issue, right? If you're saying, you keep blaming other people for things that maybe you learned from your mother or you learned from your father or something, and you might be in a relationship and your spouse is saying, why do you keep doing this or doing that? This is a little cold. Why? And then you will be saying, oh, it's not my fault, it's you. If you never do that, I wouldn't do that. No, you're not going to the blame thing. You're going to look into yourself and say, why did I do that? You know, why am I insecure about something or the other, right? So we're going to face the truth, right? Give me some, make some comments and let me know some of the things you think you are in denial about, and you've looked into yourself now and you're saying, oh, this is really something I have to deal with. Okay, the next thing is, the third thing is, do not accept stereotypes. Do not let people put names on you that you don't want. Don't, like, for example, growing up they would call Indians and mixed Indians coolies. What is a coolie? A coolie is an uneducated person. So don't call me no coolie because I'm educated, okay? Right, so that sort of thing. This thing about angry black woman, every nation have angry women, so don't talk about the angry black woman, because don't let anybody label you that way. All right, so those sort of things, right? Those are the two I can come up with right now. Any other one, let me know. All right, let's talk about them. We can talk about them in detail. We can do a live. Let me know if you want to do a live and we talk, you know, and you can come on and we discuss and stuff like that. See, if we're gonna heal, we will be stronger if we heal together. We have to help each other up. Don't watch your brother or your sister fall down. You know, if you see, they have a way to say, fix your sister crown if you see it lean. Let me speak in English, because not everybody will understand my Jamaican accent, right? All right, so fix your sister's crown if you see it needs to be fixed. Don't be one of them to push it off some more so that it topples off her head, right? Especially a lot of times in the workplace, people love to tear down each other. If somebody gets like something happens and they look bad in a meeting, you will see the other ones will smirk and stuff, instead of just saying, okay, never mind, next time, you know, you can do a better job. If you need any help, we can talk about it. That is much better than to be laughing and stuff like that, you know. Okay, take care of yourself, right? You have to take care of yourself.
Okay, so this is where our video ends today. Our next video will start right at this point. From there now, I just want to say thank you again for watching, guys, and remember to like my video, to subscribe. Just touch on that little red arrow at the bottom right hand of the screen, and also to subscribe, to share, to comment. Just say nice video, anything, because that helps my video to grow. Thanks again for watching. I so appreciate you. And also check out my other, like my cooking videos. I do some Jamaican stuff too. And have a great day. Bye.